Harry and Meghan are expected to arrive back in Britain before the end of this month, with their children enrolled to start school in September. Let's talk more about this story, shall we? I'm joined by royal journalist and commentator Bronte Coy. Always great to have you on.
Great to be here.
So this is such a huge development, isn't it? And it feels like it came out of the blue. You've been ahead of this story all summer. How did it land with you?
I think in some respects it did come out of the blue, because the big question was when we heard that Harry and Meghan were moving back here, and so soon, they're going to be here within days and the kids are going to go to school in September in Britain. The big question was, what will Meghan do here? I think Harry's path has been fairly clear. He's made it very obvious why he wants to come back to the UK, and obviously he has a lot of ties to patronages and the Invictus Games here. But this, for me, was a huge part of the puzzle when I learnt this from entertainment sources, that Meghan has been offered. Obviously, it's a significant enough role that it's something that's gotten her very excited about moving back to Britain, a place, honestly, I think most of us, and probably herself for a while there, thought she'd never really return to in a permanent capacity. So all I'm hearing about it is that it is something she's very excited about. It's significant enough that it was something that was a big factor in this move, and that I suppose we will find out soon enough what that project is.
Yeah, absolutely. You've written, haven't you, Bronte, that their brand isn't really landing anymore without the royal family attached. Do you think that this is part of the move? Because Meghan, as we know, stepped away from acting in 2017 once she got engaged.
Yes, and this ties in with you asking about it being a surprise as well. I mean, everything we'd heard about Meghan since she left acting, and she stepped away from Suits. Most people knew her as Rachel Zane on Suits, as you say, in 2017, and she was quite excited about joining the royal family at the time and said that it was seen as a change, you know, as opposed to something she was giving up in a sad way. But she has actually spoken about acting since then, and even since she left Britain. She told Variety in 2022 that she had no interest in returning to acting. She said never say never, but to paraphrase, pretty much never. So this did come as a surprise, but then I think the first big clue about this, and again, as you say, I think that their original plan for the US has not worked out as they had thought it would probably when they first moved over there. Of course, we had the Netflix deal, the Spotify deal, a number of others. I think there has been a pivot in the future of what they want to do, and I think the first big sign of this was probably when we heard that she had actually dipped her toe back into acting at the end of last year. We heard quite suddenly that she was playing herself in a cameo role in a big movie with Brie Larson and Jack Quaid and Lily Collins, which hasn't been released yet. But for me, that was a big clue about what was to come. And obviously she was there and really enjoyed that experience. And that has paved the way now for what we've learned, which is that she will be appearing in a production here in the UK.
And so the other details attached to this story, what we kind of know is that they'll be moving outside of London, that the kids are enrolled in a school for September. And, you know, coming back to the UK means being closer to family. What are you hearing about, you know, maybe patching up relations with his brother?
This is one of the big questions that has arisen, obviously, with Harry so far away from William geographically. This was less of an issue, but now all of a sudden there is going to be such scrutiny on the fact that they are basically neighbours effectively here, and there will be big questions about whether that is now going to be the inspiration behind them maybe getting in a room together. What I'm told at the moment is that's not really a focus. I don't think that William has sort of any interest in picking that up, or hasn't for a while. He's got obviously a lot on his plate, you know, with everything that's gone on with Catherine over the last few years and her health battles and his work with the monarchy and getting on with the job. I think that Harry is very excited to come back and spend time with his wider family. I've long been told he'd really like to have his children around that wider family network. But, you know, that really does involve a lot of other family members outside of the Waleses. You know, there's the whole Spencer side of it as well. And I think that that's what will be the initial focus. I don't think they're going to arrive and we're going to see some big push towards reconciliation. I don't know that there's any great appetite at the moment for that to be sort of a first priority. But I know that for Harry to spend time with his family, and that very much includes the King, that's something that's going to be very exciting for him, particularly having his children as part of that network. That's something he's wanted for some time.